Hello and welcome to my Madonna ranking video. Just a little bit of background, I've been a massive Madonna fan since the 90s. Madonna's music has always been around in my life, and even as a kid I loved her songs when they were on the radio, but when I did actually decide to get into her in the late 90s, I just became a bit obsessed with her back catalogue because she's the queen of pop, let's be honest, she is. I'm ranking the Madonna albums in order of how much I love them and how much I appreciate them. So let's get this started. At number 15, whether you consider this a studio album or a side project, I'm going to include it anyway because, well, it's at the bottom, so here we go. Number 15 is I'm Breathless. So this album, I've just never really bonded with. I never really go back and listen to it. Every time I do put it on, just don't particularly enjoy it that much, but it has got some great songs on it. Obviously, Sooner or Later is a great song. Something to Remember, which was the title of her 90s ballads album, and included that song. That is great. I enjoy Hanky Panky, you know, as a bit of novelty, and I think that's all it's considered now. But obviously it includes Vogue, so that is a massive hit and probably her most iconic song, would you say? It's really hard to say because Madonna's one of those rare artists that has several iconic songs where when you think of Madonna, what is her most iconic song? It's really hard to pick because there's quite a few of them. Number 14 is MDNA, and yes, I do have the holographic sleeve edition that was released on the store, was it last year or 2 years ago? This album, I do personally enjoy listening to this album. It's, you know, it's a good mindless fun pop album. Listening to it, you can tell it was rushed. She was obviously making WE at the time. Also, she just wanted to have an album out ready for when she did the Super Bowl and announced her tour, the MDNA tour, which I went to, and it was a great tour. Other than that, it's hard to describe how I feel about this album. Like I said, I do enjoy it when I put it on, but as an album, it feels quite patchy. There's great songs like Love Spent. I do personally enjoy Girls Gone Wild. Give Me Your Lovin' was a fun lead single, but not her strongest lead single. And that brings us to number 13, which is Hard Candy. Again, I do enjoy listening to this album when I put it on, from start to finish. It's an enjoyable album, but it also feels, again, a bit mindless. You can say that at least this album is cohesive because it's pretty much just R&B pop throughout. 4 Minutes was obviously a massive hit at the time, and it was her last number one. It's her last Billboard number one, last UK number one. For about 3 tours, she was pulling out Candy Shop all the time, which is not really one of my favourites by her, so I'm kind of glad she didn't include it on the Celebration tour. In terms of favourite tracks, I would have to say I love Give It To Me, that's a great song. Something quite haunting about Devil Won't Recognise You and Voices, I quite enjoy them. She's Not Me is a great song as well, I quite enjoy that. But other than that, as an album, yeah, Beat Goes On, that's a good song. That should have been a single, really. I don't know why it wasn't. I'm sure that would have been a big hit. But yeah, Dance Tonight is a bit of a throwback to her first album, like vibes. So yeah, this is number 13. And at number 12, we have Rebel Heart. Now, her fan base knows what happened with this album. She was working it for quite a long time, and unfortunately it leaked online, and she basically just scrambled to get the album finished to a point where she was happy with, and instead of getting a concise album, we got like 19 tracks plus from this album. It's not very cohesive, which fans complain about. My favourites on this album have to be Ghost Town is a great ballad. I love Inside Out. The title track Rebel Heart itself. Best Night is good. Body Shop, I love Body Shop. That Needs More Love. And Bitch Madonna, didn't like it at first, but it's really grown on me over the years, and I would probably consider it like a minor Madonna classic nowadays. And number 11 on my list is the 40th anniversary this year, is Like a Virgin. This album has some huge hits on it, like the title track Material Girl. The European edition includes Into the Groove, which makes it the version that I go to. So also shout out to Dress You Up, great song. As an album, it's fine. It's a fun 80s synth pop album. Madonna just doing pop music. I do enjoy listening to it, but obviously she has a lot more serious albums and better albums. And number 10 on my list is Madam X, her latest studio album, the last one that we've had, which was in 2019. The gap between studio albums is getting bigger now. I think it's been 5 years. This album, in the fan base, it's hit or miss. You either love it or you hate it. It's a bit like Marmite. I personally do really love this album. I enjoy it a lot. God Control is a great song. I Don't Search, I Find. Medellin, I loved Medellin when it got released. It's a great single. Dot Ballet is just so different for her, but I love it. Crave is a great R&B ballad. Overall, I enjoy this album. Up to number 9, and it is American Life. Again, another holographic sleeve. This album to me, when it was released, was quite a struggle to get into because it's very introspective and also quite acoustic, but also electronic at the same time. But I do enjoy this album. I think as the years gone by, it's just got better and better, and I do generally enjoy listening to this album from start to finish. Title track, I still love American Life. Hollywood, great second single, should have been bigger. Intervention, Needs More Love. I just love that song so much. I actually really love that includes Die Another Day, so it gives that soundtrack song at home. Nothing Fails, Nobody Knows Me, great song, great album. Number 8 on my list is Music, the 2000s album, which came before American Life. This album's pretty straightforward in the sense it's 10 tracks, 11 if you include American Pie, which was on the European edition. It's a pretty straightforward album. It's Madonna doing folk/electronic music, but overall it works and it is a fun listen. This was probably my first studio album becoming a fan that I got to experience as a full era. So I bought, obviously, when I first started buying all the singles, obviously I bought American Pie single and Beautiful Stranger because that was probably my first single that was released when I became a fan. But yeah, shout out to Impressive Instant, should have been a single. I enjoy Amazing, Don't Tell Me, What It Feels Like for a Girl, especially the video, Gone, Paradise. Yeah, it's a great album. Look at the track list, it's solid. Number 7 on my list is Bedtime Stories. This album was a bit of a struggle to get into. I just don't know why. Even though I loved all the singles, Secrets, Take a Bow, Human Nature, title track, Bedtime Story, it took ages for me to get into it. But when I did finally get into it, it just clicks. Like, I just became a massive fan of this album and I was able to listen to it from start to finish and enjoy every track on it. I love the opening track, Survival. I love Inside of Me. I love Sanctuary. Just a great R&B/electronic album, would you say? It's like a precursor to Ray of Light in a way. Number 6 on my list is Madonna's first album, Madonna. This album is just perfect from start to finish. What a great debut album this is. The only sort of track I don't really care for is I Know It, but when I hear it, I enjoy it, if that makes sense. It's just, I just love it in all its 80s synth pop vibes. Just the opening track, Lucky Star, Borderline. I love Think of Me, which seems to be unappreciated. I just love it. Everybody, Physical Attraction, yeah. Holiday to me is obviously a classic Madonna song, if not a little bit overplayed, but you know, it's a classic. I love it. Number 5 on my list is 2005's Confessions and Dance Floor. I just love everything about this album. It's just pop perfection, it's just dance, it's disco, it's everything you wanted from Madonna in 2005. Just Madonna doing disco pop, but also there's some more serious tracks on the album towards the end. My favourite tracks have to be Jump, Forbidden Love, Future Lovers, great album. Which brings us to number 4 on my list, True Blue. From start to finish, pop perfection. I even like the last 2 songs, Jimmy Jimmy and Love Makes the World Go Round, which fans seem to complain about quite a lot, but I've got used to them and I quite enjoy them for what they are. Singles run on this is perfect, like Papa Don't Preach, Open Your Heart, Lives to Tell. Where's the Party should have been a single. I love White Heat. Just a great 80s pop album. Number 3 on my list, probably a bit controversial, but it is Ray of Light. Again, another holographic sleeve from her store. This album is when I first started getting into Madonna. I remember Frozen coming out and being on the music channels like all the time, and I was just a bit obsessed with that sort of gothy, dark pop vibe that she was doing. And then obviously the title track came out and I started really paying attention to Madonna. Nothing Really Matters, yeah, perfect. This album usually gets to the top of her lists in terms of fan favourites, but there's just a couple that I just love more. But yeah, this is a solid album from start to finish. It just fits in that pop soundscape that was around in 1998. Just sort of a bit trip-hoppy, electronic, bit avant-garde. Great album. And number 2 on my list is Like a Prayer. Again, another solid album from start to finish. I can listen to this. It's a journey. There's a lot of grief on it. There's a lot of love lost vibes going on. Title track, Like a Prayer, is outstanding. Express Yourself. Till Death Do Us Part is one of my favourite songs on this album. Cherish has become one of my top 5 Madonna songs over the years in all its sort of nostalgic 80s vibes. I just can't believe that she called it corny. Obviously, A Father, Dear Jessie, I love that. It's just such a great album. But number 1 on my list has to go to 1992's Erotica. I just adore this album from start to finish. Just the vibes about it, I love the whole context of it. I just love the ballads, like Bad Girl is one of my favourite Madonna songs. Rain, again, another one of my favourites. It's just perfect. Like Erotica, the title track I love. Deeper and Deeper is a good fun song. Words, Why Is It So Hard, In This Life. Start to finish, great song. Although I will say that this is the version of the vinyl that doesn't include Did You Do It, because I just don't really care for that song and not really sure why it was included when there were songs like Goodbye to Innocence, which is a really great song and deserves to be on here. But yes, overall this is my favourite Madonna album, so I'm ranking this at number 1. But yes, it was really stuck between this and Like a Prayer and also Ray of Light. She just has so many great albums. Hope you enjoyed my video. Until the next one, bye!